This was the third night in a row he had woken up in a cold sweat. This had been happening periodically for months, but it had been happening more frequently lately. It was the same dream, over and over again. It always started as a normal dream, but before he knew it, there was a girl, maybe a year or two younger than he was. She was always dressed in the same shitty dress, her hair wild and tangled. Nothing was more hurting than her eyes. They were so sad and scared. She was always reaching out to him, her lips moving but no noise coming out. He desperately wanted to know what she was saying, but he never got the chance. He'd always wake up panting and angry. Didn't matter what time it was, he always got up, away, and went for a run. There was no going to sleep after that. Those eyes were burning in his brain. Every time he closed his eyes, he could see the scared look. It crushed him. He didn't even know the girl. At least, he didn't think he did. He read somewhere that your brain can't invent new people, so all the people in your dreams were people you had seen before. Was she someone he had saved in the past? No. He would have remembered her. He could tell she was pretty, even if she was unfed and covered in dirt. Was she someone he saw in a movie or on TV? That had to be it. The only problem was, he had been so busy with hero work, he hadn't had the time to relax and watch anything in months. He was in his first year as a pro hero. He was working relentlessly to make sure everybody knew his name. He poured himself a cup of coffee and took a look at the clock. 4 a.m. Fuck. He had only been asleep for a little over 2 hours. He rubbed his temples. He had to report to work in 6 hours. Maybe he should just go in early. If he's going to be awake, he might as well get paid for it. He sluggishly got dressed and drained the rest of his coffee. Thank God today was supposed to be a short day anyways. He didn't know if he could make it through another 24-hour shift. The ding of the elevator sounded louder than usual, and in his exhausted, grumpy state, he took it very personally, as if the elevator knew he was tired and wanted to taunt him. He walked over to his desk and threw his bag that held his costume onto it before slumping into his chair. Wow, don't take us the wrong way, but you look like shit. He looked over to the cheery as hell redhead that he'd usually consider his best friend. How the hell am I not supposed to take that the wrong way? Kirishima rubbed the back of his neck. I mean, you look tired is all. Speaking of which, shouldn't you be asleep right now? Your shift doesn't start until 10. I know you're punctual and all, but 4 hours early seems a bit extreme. He leaned back in his chair, attempting to rub the exhaustion out of his eyes. I'm fine. I have paperwork to catch up on before my shift starts anyway. Kirishima gave him a concerned look. You hate paperwork, man. What's really going on? He debated for a few seconds if he should say anything, but he decided it might help to actually talk about it with somebody. I've been having these weird dreams. There's always this girl. A girl? Ooh, is she pretty? He gave the redhead an annoying look. Oh, right. Not important. Continue. Sorry. He rolled his eyes. Yeah, she's pretty. Anyways, she keeps popping up in my dreams. It looks like she needs help, but I can never hear her. She's dirty and way too skinny, and I don't know. It's just nothing from my head. Kirishima seemed to ponder on that for a bit. Do you recognize the girl? Like, is she someone you know? Bakugou sighed. No. At least, I don't think I do. Kirishima nodded. What's she doing in your dreams? I don't know. I guess she's reaching out to me, at least that's what it looks like. Kirishima brought his head up, tipped his chin, as if he were Sherlock Holmes solving a case. Why don't you take her hand then? If she's reaching out to you, it must mean she wants you to, right? Bakugou threw his hands up in defeat. I don't fucking know. Even if I wanted to, it's not like I can completely control over my dreams. I'm asleep, for fuck's sakes. Kirishima rolled his eyes. Right, grumpy grills. I think you need a nap. And this time, if any girl happens to stroll into your dreams, at least try to hold her hand and see where it gets you, alright? I'll handle your paperwork and come wake you up when it's time for your shift. He wanted to argue, but he already had 3 cups of coffee and he was utterly exhausted. He couldn't work like this. Kirishima was right. He needed a nap. He curled up on one of the couches in the break room and fell asleep almost instantly. His dream started out normal enough. Nothing odd in any way, and then out of nowhere, there she was, reaching out to him, her eyes terrified, a silent scream on her lips. He was supposed to do something. What was it? Oh yeah. He slowly reached his hand up to hers. It seemed to go so slowly, as if he was moving through molars. His muscles hurt from the effort of forcing his arms up to meet hers. Finally, his fingers brushed against hers, and he heard it. Her voice rang out loud and clear. Help me, Ground Zero. Please. He gripped her hand tighter. Who are you? What do you want? The girl started to cry. No time for that now. They're on to me. Where are you? Bakugou flinched. I'm at work at All Might's new agency. She nodded her head in understanding, and for the first time ever, she left before he woke up. Next thing he knew, he was being shook awake. Come on, man. Time to get up. Tell the girl in your dreams you'll call her back later. He shot straight up. I did it. That's great. What'd you do? Bakugou stood up, his body coursing on adrenaline. I touched her hand, and I heard her. She asked me for help and asked me where I was. Kirishima looked at him like he had lost it. Alright, crazy pants. Enough of that. You know it's a dream, right? As in, not real. This is real. We are real. And you're really about to be late if you don't hurry up and get changed. Bakugou spent the rest of his shift on high alert. He looked around every corner to see if you were there. You're real. He doesn't know how, but he knows that to be true. He knew he couldn't say it out loud without sounding like an escaped mental patient, but his heart kept telling him you needed him. Your voice played on an endless loop through his head. It drowned out everything, including Kirishima's annoying from constant rambling. The day flew by faster than usual, which Bakugou was extremely grateful for. He was practically running out the door with Kirishima yelling at him about a meeting up for drinks later. Yeah, that wasn't happening. He had taken all of 3 steps out the building when he was being tackled. Well, tackled wasn't exactly the right word, because that would imply he fell, which he did not. Instead, he lost his balance for a second before turning to see the source. It was her. It was you. Shit, you're real, I knew it. What are you doing here? Who are you? You look up at him with a desperate eye. Get me out of here. They're after me. I promise I'll tell you everything. Just please get me somewhere safe. He looked around to see if anyone was watching, but no one was around. He grabbed your hand and started walking towards his apartment. I only live a few blocks from here. Think you can make it that far? You nodded. If only he knew how far you had already come. Soon enough, you were being dragged through the door of his apartment. He led you to the kitchen table and immediately began to pace back and forth in front of you. He suddenly stopped and looked at you, his eyes boring into yours. Alright, are you going to tell me who the fuck you are and what the fuck is going on? You flinch at a bit of his angry voice, but quickly remind yourself that he was good. He wouldn't hurt you. You composed yourself the best you could under the circumstances. My name's Yuen. I was kidnapped as a child by a group of villains. They have been using my quirk to their advantage for years. I finally managed to get out and come and find you. He pulled up a chair so he could sit and face you. Okay, but why me? Out of all the people in the world, why me? How are you on my head? You look down into your lap, where your fingers were gripping onto the hem of your dirty dress. My quirk allows me to enter people's dreams. I am a dreamwalker. But it can't be just anyone. I have to have seen their faces, and I have to know their names. I was a child when they took me. I didn't know any better. I thought they were my family. It wasn't until I got older that I realized how wrong what they were doing was. That's what made me enter people's dreams and got them to confess things, gain information, plan ideas. One day I fought back and tried to reach out for help. One problem was I didn't know anyone else. Everyone I knew was a villain. All the people that I had visited in dreams before wouldn't listen to me. And why should they? I betrayed them. I entered their dreams and stole their private information. Even if they wanted to help, I had no idea where I was. There was no way for them to find me. He reached out and took your hand in his. I'm so sorry that happened to you, but you still haven't answered my question. Why me? He may be a bit insensitive, but he still had no idea who you were and didn't want to run the risk of this being some weird twisted trap. You wiped a tear from your dirt-stained cheeks. One night, I snuck out of my room to try and get something to eat, and the news was on the TV in the kitchen. It was an interview with you. I saw your face, and I heard the name Ground Zero. That's all I got before I was dragged back into my room and was pumped full of so many drugs, so I couldn't use my quirk. You were shaking now. I don't know why, and I can't explain it, but I felt a weird connection with you. Every day I repeated your name over and over again through my drug state so I wouldn't forget it. I kept telling myself you were going to save me. Finally, I was able to push through the drug haze and reach out to you, to walk into your dream. Bakugou's head was spinning. Is that why I couldn't hear you? Because you were drugged? You shook your head. No, I have to have permission to truly be in someone's head. You have to touch me, to acknowledge me, before I can talk to you. He took a deep breath. Well, I'm sorry I didn't do it sooner. So, how did you get here? You started messing with the hem of your dress again. They decided to move me to a different location. Said I was being too difficult and needed to be taught a lesson. I jumped out of the back of a moving van. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where I was going, but I found my way to a city and asked the first person I saw for directions. Bakugou was leaning towards you now, completely invested in your story. Why didn't you go to the police? You sighed. I didn't know who to trust. They have moles everywhere. I can't risk showing up on a police report. They'd find me. He nodded for a few moments, thinking it over. Okay, well, I have a spare bedroom. You are more than welcome to use. It looks like you need some food, and it smells like you need a shower. The bathroom's down the hall. Do you like spicy food? Your eyes widened. Does this mean you'll let me stay? He huffed. Well, I'm not going to fucking kick you out to rough it out on the streets. Do you like spicy food or not? You shrugged as you tried to hold back the revealing tears that threatened to spill out. I don't know. I've never had spicy food. I was only ever fed white rice. Sometimes if I did a good job, they would add chicken. He gave you a sad look. Alright, so I'll go easy on the seasoning. Take your time. Relax and I'll get you some clean clothes. You nod as you walk carefully out to the bathroom he was pointing out earlier. You were almost too scared to touch anything. You didn't want to do anything that would make him change his mind. The shower felt so good. You couldn't remember the last time you had a shower. It had been during what you called your cooperative phase. They were so nice to you then, before you realized they were all monsters. You had a nice soft bed, your own bathroom, and so many books to read. When you fought back, everything had changed. You could see all the mud and dried blood swirl around before it went down the drain. You decided then and there that this was goodbye to your old life. If you could even call it a life. It was all going down the drain, as well as you were never going back. When you finally stepped out of the shower, there was a warm hoodie as well as a pair of shorts and boxers sitting in the bathroom counter. The hoodie hung down to your knees, and you've never felt so warm and fuzzy. You didn't know if it was possible for an article of clothing to feel safe. You walked out in the hallway and you could hear a hushed voice. You panicked. Had they already found you? Dude, I hear the shower running. And you're cooking? You definitely have a girl over. Who is it? You shut up, she'll hear you. You do have a girl over. Will you just fucking leave already? I promise. I'll tell you about it later. Tell the director I won't be able to make it to work for a few days. I'm, sick. Sick, huh? Yeah, I'm sick. Sick of your shit. Now leave. You couldn't help it. You giggled. It sounded so weird, but it was undeniably a giggle. You felt a weight slowly start to lift from your shoulders. You waited until you heard the door shut before leaving the safety of the hallway and joining Ground Zero at the dinner table. Your mouth started to water and your stomach rumbled. It all looked so good. You looked at him, unsure if it would be rude to just dig in. He froze with a spoon midway in his mouth. What? Are you waiting for permission or something? Fuck that, just eat. Your eyes lit up as you started to drain your bowl of soup first, immediately following by a mountain of noodles. It all tasted so good. Thank you so much, Ground Zero. This is delicious. You're an amazing cook. You could see him blush a bit before shoving another bite in his mouth, nubbing up quick. It's Bakugou. You both sat in an awkward silence, eating until you were both fat and happy. When you finally decided you were done, you leaned back into your seat. That had to have been the best meal I've ever had. Bakugou stood up and started collecting the dishes. Don't take this the wrong way, but it's not like your palate was that expanded before. He could see the hurt a flash over your features briefly before you schooled them back to natural. He tried to salvage the conversation, but don't worry. I'll try to stay away from cooking rice. I have a feeling you've had enough of that. You smiled as you stood up to help. Here, you cook. The least I can do is clean up. He took the plate that was in your hand. Maybe next time. You've had a shower, you've been fed, now you just need to get a good night's sleep. He gestured over to the hallway. The bedroom at the end of the hallway is mine. The one that's closest to us right now is the guest bedroom. And they are connected by a bathroom. I've been told that I snore, so I'll apologize for that in advance. Go ahead and make yourself at home. There's a TV and everything. When you didn't move, he gave you the light-hearted nudge in the direction of the bedroom. Honestly, don't worry about it. I got it from here. Go get some sleep. You weren't used to someone taking care of you, and it made you feel suspicious. This was too good to be true, but you were also too tired to dwell too much. From the first time in a long time, you were clean, full, and you actually had a bed to sleep in. Besides, Ground Zero was a hero. There's no way he did something to hurt you. Right? You tiptoe out of your new room and marvel about how comfortable the bed looks. You pulled your pants off, opting for just a hoodie and boxers, burrowing into the covers of the piles of comfy pillows beneath you. You practically hummed in comfort. You rolled over and saw Bakugou through the bathroom. He was also getting ready for bed in the dim light of his bedside lamp. He gave you a soft smile before closing the door. You weren't necessarily a fan of closed doors. You can't lock a door that isn't closed, after all, but you felt safe nonetheless. You knew he was just in the other room, so you found yourself drifting off. You were back in your own room. Nothing but a bucket and a stained pillow so thin it might as well have been a pillowcase. You could smell the contents in the bucket in the corner, and it made you want to puke. It was freezing, but all you had for warmth was this thin, tattered dress you wore. Your body hurt from how hard you were shivering, the pain in your stomach. The worst of all, they hadn't fed you in a few days, saying only good girls deserve food. You huddled further into yourself as you heard the deadbolt. That what may as well have been your cell click. Someone was coming in. What did they want? The big guy walked in. The one with the crooked nose. Time to take your medicine. You thrashed around and tried to resist, but he just held you down, laughing in a sickly laugh that would haunt you forever. No! You shot up in bed. Your face was soaked with tears. You felt a strong grip on your shoulder. You swung into the darkness and felt your first contact with something solid. Oi, relax, it's just me. We're having a nightmare, so I thought I'd wake you up. You rubbed your eyes. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. He turned on the lamp that was on your nightstand. It's okay. It's not like I have to work tomorrow anyways. He was lost. He wanted to comfort you, but he didn't want to crowd you. He also just met you today and shouldn't have such strong urge to wrap his arms around you. But he does, and he doesn't know how he feels about it. So, do you want to talk about it? You shook your head. I'd rather not. I just want to forget about it. Bakugou nodded. That's fair. Well, if you need anything, I'll be right through here. He pointed through the doors of his room. You bite your lip as you muster up your courage. Do you think you could? I mean, you totally don't have to. But if it's okay with you, could you possibly stay with me until I fall asleep? He quirked his eyebrows at you. Sure, I guess. That's fine. You quickly snuggled back into your side of the bed, and he got comfortable on his sleeping face and felt his heart start to ache. You hadn't needed to tell him about your nightmare because you had already shown it to him. You had subconsciously pulled him into your dream, and he had a front row seat onto your horrors of your past. He reached out and brushed a stray hair away from your sleeping face. He'd be damned if anyone tried to hurt you again. And we're at the end of the video. Thank you so much to Backtobackbakubabe to actually being my first request. Well, not request per se, but my first reading on this channel. I think she had to muster up a lot of courage to ask them if I could showcase their material on my channel. Luckily, they said yes and were really sweet about it. So, shout out to them and awesomeness to them. If you want to check out the original content or just read ahead because these take a while to edit, go ahead and click the link to the Tumblr in the description. They're a pretty neat person. There was a total of 3,676 words in this, so yeah, this is pretty long, and yeah, all the others are pretty long, and I have to go through and edit that. So I'm trying not to make as many errors as I would say a normal one. Also, I've read the first one like 5,000 times, trying to get it right. But yeah, this was I'm Going to Make This Place Your Home, part 1. Bakugou X Reader. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more voiceovers, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Bye-bye.